Hello everyone, I'm JoystickDrummer, and I'm pretty sure most of you grew up the same way I did, which was playing the original Doom. I remember playing the original Doom on my parents' old Windows 98 computer, and I would have to sneak downstairs after my parents went to bed in the middle of the night just to play it, because I wasn't allowed to play M-rated games when I was a kid. But I did anyway. I loved that game as a kid, and I'm pretty sure that's what started my love for creature-based media. And then came the reimagining of the series that we saw last year. The 2016 version of Doom was one of my favorite games last year, and I was so glad to see it come to the Switch. Before I talk about how well the Switch port was done, I'm going to do a brief review of Doom first. Okay, you guys ready? Metal Scream, let's go! Doom is just like a good metal song. The story/lyrics are not the main point of the game. The gist of the story with Doom is that a portal from hell opens up while you're on Mars, and all the demons from hell pour out and try to kill you. There is not much more to say about the story of the game, because the gameplay is what you buy this game for. Speaking of the gameplay, this is one of my favorite games to play, gameplay-wise. I loved the original gameplay as a kid, but they have finally perfected it now that the technology is available. In Doom, you have to constantly be moving during combat or you will die. Almost everything on screen is trying to kill you and you have to dodge and weave just to stay alive. The biggest worry I had about this game was that it was going to be too hard and it would become frustrating instead of challenging. This game is hard, but it is extremely fair, especially with the health drops. Health packs are scarce across your journey, but most enemies drop health after you perform a glory kill on them. After an enemy takes a certain amount of damage, it will start to stagger, and the game will highlight the enemy, indicating that you can perform a glory kill on it. Usually when games provide a small cutscene, every time you kill an enemy, it drags out the experience and pulls you out from the game, but not in Doom. Each cutscene is under 3 seconds, and then you get thrown right back into the experience. Doom has done this perfectly, whereas in Resident Evil 6, that was the worst part of the game. What really helped is that each creature has its own personal glory kills depending on what angle you attack them from. It's these same creatures that make the game one of the best shooters this console generation. Most of the creatures in Doom were also in the original Doom that came out in 1993. They took the original designs from the first game and completely revamped them to bring their designs into the modern day. These same creatures now have 3D models to them to help show how terrifying they really are. The environments also look absolutely fantastic, even when you are playing on the downgraded Switch version. Throughout the game, you will jump between playing on Mars and playing in Hell, and both of these environments really add to the immersion of the game. There are multiple sections throughout the game that have you facing off against a horde of demons in order to advance to the next section. Anytime you run into these sections, the layout of the map is just like a small battlefield. You have to learn where you can and can't run to in the battlefield, or else you might get cornered and then it's game over from there. Everything about this game is so masterfully designed that it would be a disadvantage to yourself if you never experienced this game. Okay, now that we've talked about the core game, let's talk about how well it translated to the Switch. Here's a direct graphical comparison between the PS4 version and the Switch version. You can definitely tell that it has been downgraded on the Switch, but that doesn't detract from the game. You don't have to have perfect graphics to enjoy a game. There were some problems with the Pro Controller support though. I could never get the analog sticks to move the way I wanted them to, even when I used the exact same sensitivity as the PS4 version. Also near the end of the game, I noticed that the game lagged pretty hard when tons of enemies are on the screen at the same time. What I was surprised to see was that the graphics and the performance didn't take a strong hit when you played in handheld mode. I did notice some occasional dips in frame rate, but nothing major. The developers did an excellent job with this port, and I'm glad to be seeing so much love and support for the Switch. With all that said, I would give the Switch version of Doom an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's the best platform to experience it on, but if it's the only current gen platform you own, do yourself a favor and pick this game up. One last thing before I go. This game has my favorite soundtrack from any video game I have played before. There might not be any super iconic tracks on it, but the music fits the game and adds another layer to the game to help make it one of the best of this console generation. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm JoystickDrummer, and I'm all drummed out.